Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the field.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown.
It's
Here
a
comes the shakedown.
Let's go.
You like the way I kick things back here. Welcome to the Philly Shakedown podcast with Philly 500 and Joey Shakes. Joey, what is happening, my man?
I'm good, man. It's the bye week, and we win this week. It's the bye week. Don't gotta worry about any games.
We're winning this game tomorrow night, baby. We're winning the bye week. Debbie, Garvey, what's going on? Mr. Wing, Big D, Donald, brother, Mr. Perez, Twits, Ethan, go after yourself. Major Move, Jerry, Big D, Chris, E-Money, Jeffrey, Bear, Nathan, Diddy dingled my dingling. What's happening?
No.
I don't know. Dave Dust, Jamie, Michael, Texas Boy. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. Big Moose, Easy in his name, 125. My man Antonio, William, Battle Mode. Thank you guys so much for being here. As Joey said, it is the bye week, and hopefully we'll get a Washington loss and a Dallas loss tomorrow and win the bye week. But let me first address, I know what everybody's thinking right now. The Phillies lost. Yes, they did. They had that Wheeler pitched great, but I think a lot of people could feel it that once Wheeler came out, you were going to have a problem if you could not put runs on the board. How many times in baseball do you see a great pitcher come out and they get to the bench and then that's all she wrote, and that's what happened. Yeah, we got to shake it off, and we got to come back tomorrow, and we got to win. I really think the Mets is going to be our toughest series. So we'll see. We'll see. Ivan, what's going on? Yo, 500, what's up, Shakes? What it do, bro?
What's up, bro?
What's happening?
What's going on,
Phillies let Wheeler down badly. They did. Little G Griffin says, I'm a big fan of Eagles 2024 season better. Eagles better beat the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, we're going to see. We are going to see. I will say this. I'm probably going to, unless I can't wake up tomorrow morning, but I'm going to try to stream that Washington Browns game. Not only I want to take a look at the Browns who we play next week, but Washington, and we're going to get into a little bit about the NFC East because I'm curious your thoughts on the division as a whole is kind of where we are after 4 games. So let me get this super chat. Beast Guard, thank you for the super chat, my man. He goes, are we one of the best, worst teams of all time? I'm not even hyped going into the next game. It stresses me out, shaking my head. I'm selling my tickets versus the Rams. Well, I think we're tremendously talented. And I personally think that the 2 games we lost, like I feel like we lose, we win. I feel like we actually win in spite of our coaching. Like I feel like if you look at the first 4 weeks, I think he's done everything to lose us games. I'm sorry. And we win in spite of it, but that Tampa Bay game is where, nobody or nothing was ready to go.
No, it was it was inexcusable. I mean, we walked out of that game, and there's how much more is there to say about it? I mean, you're back to square one all over again, and nothing. I don't understand your offense should look better next week, and your defense. I mean, it's weird because I feel like I feel more comfortable with the defense going forward because I feel like they'll make the adjustments because they just disappeared that entire game. Didn't make the adjust. They didn't tighten up enough, and there was no pressure. It's just you're giving these easy, quick dump off yards and giving so much cushion off the football all game, and your tackling was god awful. I know Seth Joyner was literally just put up a video this morning about the tackling in Philadelphia and the donut that they're using, and he put out videos of it's horrible, man. There's just a huge coaching aspect that's just still not right, man. And
it's true.
Unfortunate.
It is true. Mark says Philly is known for great defense since the 90s. Why are we playing so freaking soft? I would say they were known for a great defense way before the 90s. I personally think it's because they've gotten away from the identity of what the Eagles' old defense used to be. I think they've gone into this like analytically driven type defense where you're not going to give up the big play or the big yards or the home run, and you kind of hang around and give your offense many chances to take the field. I absolutely hate it. I hate it. I hate the style.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What's up, Shakedown? Eagles suck right now. To be fair, we're playing only our second home game in 6 weeks. That's true. I mean, that Green Bay game was not a home game. Rock the Artest, what's happening? Play calling. Yeah, play calling's horrible. There's no doubt about it. Anthony Wilson, Davis Super J goes, Philly 5, my guy. What's happening, man? How are you? Defense stinks. Defense is fundamentally flawed, I believe. Philly, keep Joey off the defense.
I don't know. Maybe this week I've been going kind of crazy because go ahead, keep going.
Go. I want to hear about the crazy.
No, it's just I think we can agree on this a little bit because we saw the mic'd up moments from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans was mic'd up for the Tampa game, and we got some clips of the mentality and like how these guys are acting while getting their ass kicked. I mean, this isn't a game where, players will start jabbing at each other, joking maybe on the field when, both teams are competitive. But when the Eagles, you're giving up free points, you're down 3. I don't know when these videos took place during the game. But Quignon was like stepping up, towards Mike Evans, only gave up 2 catches, and he was kind of in his face a little bit. How many catches you got? It was great. Like that competitiveness was there. Then you got Maddox talking about Fortnite. You got Slay, reminiscing with Mike Evans about how long they've been in the league together. It's just these are the conversations that are going on during a game, and I feel like the competitive side needs to be out first before any of this is even happening. I mean, your defense is doing nothing in this game, and this is what's going on. So It really bothered me.
Well, it should bother you, and it bothered me too. Especially, I mean, the Slay one bothers me because it's like he's already thinking about in that game at that moment. He's talking about his career and how many years and how long he's been doing it. And what does he do as soon as the game ends? Right? What does he do when the game ends? He posts career statistics. So where is his head? You know what I mean? And
captain.
Then Avante Maddox goes out there and starts asking if he's still gaming. Like, dude, you can't be thinking about the game if that's your question. You know what I mean? Like I would bench Avante Maddox immediately.
Yes,
immediately. He's done in my book. They're not focused on the game. They already had 1 foot out the door towards their bye week, which they had the whole week off.
Well,
the whole week off.
And here's what I'm saying, dude. Like Fangio says the next day after the game, like we need to play tighter. And it's like, if you noticed from the booth that you need to play tighter, why did you wait after getting scored on 3 times? Right. Why wait that long to adjust? The adjustments are god horrible.
He said something like the adjustments took too long to get down to the field or something. Like it was something weird like that. I could have told you right after the first series. They're going to throw everything short and take advantage of the space that you're giving them. You got to play up. After the first series, they didn't do anything until it was 21-0.
Do you think it's affecting? Do you think Vic Fangio not being down on the field and staying in the booth is affecting the team? Do you think there's no reprimanding enough on the field? I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. There's a lot of defensive coordinators that do it, but
he was on the booth last year too with Miami.
Yeah.
I don't think that affects it. I think I don't know. I really wonder sometimes if these guys, if they're like these coordinators are handcuffed to what they can run and what they can do. Because how does Jonathan Gannon go being the least amount of blitzes in the league to go to Arizona and they're like in the 30 percentile? It's
Yeah.
like I just think this system is fundamentally flawed and it's been figured out. And if you don't have a really good pass rush, you're in trouble with this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you're keeping a head coach. The head coach right now, I think, is I mean, I'm already done with this head coach. I think it's just to a point now where I think the test is really these next 4 weeks where they could potentially be 6-2. But I'm not gonna, make any promises. But we'll see.
Right. Antonio Holmes says, I watched the game from the Chargers when Kellen was offensive coordinator, and it's night and day. Yeah, because it's not Kellen Moore isn't. Nobody is going to convince me that Kellen Moore is calling all these plays. I'm sorry. I've watched enough of Sirianni over the last few years. I know when it's him. And he is influenced. It's not all him. Kellen Moore has some say, but I really believe that Nick is scripting the first 15 plays. I believe he's calling the majority of the plays in the first half, and then they change it up and go more in the second half. That's what I believe. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise.
Here's a statistic that came up on a chart on the top 10 teams when it comes to snap motion percentage and motion percentage coming off plays. Philadelphia is ranked 19th in the league on snap motion percentage at 22.4. Kellen Moore was top 10 last year with the Chargers. So there's definitely a huge drop off. Like, yeah, you might add some pre-snap motion flavor to it, but it's really Nick's offense at the end of the day. It makes no sense. You're out 2 of your top receivers. You still throw over 30 times. You run with Saquon 10. You use Gainwell a lot more in this game. 2-minute offense and mostly in the second half. I don't know. Is it an ownership to analytics? Do they put too much into the analytics? Or are they still letting Nick control the whole show way too much? I mean, I don't know what these conversations are every single week, because I think the Green Bay game was probably the best game that we had, that we saw a lot more Kellen Moore in that offense. And things looked more normal in that game.
Yeah. Well, I forget, it was one of those, those review shows where they're showing the plays, and they were showing the first 10 plays the Eagles ran. And I think they ran the ball. I don't think they ran the ball. I think they threw 9 straight times, and they kept showing the routes. The receivers all kept running deep routes. So isn't that what the problem with him was last year? So who do you think did that? Come on. Green Blaze the Fight. David Superchat goes, the best pass rusher to draft is Abdul Carter, Penn State. Yeah, I had a couple people actually tell me I need to watch him. I'm going to check him out. Bald Eagle David Superchat, he goes, who gets promoted to offensive coordinator once Sirianni gets fired? I don't know. I would assume that what's his face does both jobs. Diddy Dingle, Ben Johnson, Arch Manning will lead us to 15 rings. Yeah, I can't get there. I can't get there yet.
Not yet, no.
I'm not yet. And I'm trying to just catch up this chats here. Bald Eagle David Super goes, was Slay a captain with the Lions? Vic using Pigeon to deliver message to his defense this bye week is amazing. Next game will tell us the season. What do you mean he's using Pigeon? Do you know what he means by that? Did he do something?
No, he's just
non-existent. Yeah, Mal David Super goes, Nick's offense before the Eagles was different. It hurts. Nick's defense before Eagles. Nick's off. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't tell you what Nick's offense was. Nick, when he was the coordinator, he was kind of I don't know how much control he had, right? Because you had what's his face running the offense, really, was the head coach in Indy. So I don't know.
The offense hasn't been the same since Steichen left. It hasn't. The Eagles haven't scored in the first quarter since Cardinals game. I mean, that's how 7 games ago. I mean, that's how long it's been, dude. It's crazy.
Well, Frank Reich was when Nick was in Indy. Frank Reich was calling the offensive play. Yeah. Josh, thank you for super check because Nick literally said Kellen drives, and I'm like the wife in the passenger seat giving direction. His own words of presser. He has changed. If you listen, like all season, this is Kellen Moore's offense. Then it's I'm helping with the play install, and I'm helping with this. And I'm getting plays and we're mixing stuff from last year, but Kellen calls the plays. Then it goes to, here and there I might grab a play. And then it goes from that to, sometimes I call the plays. So it's like every week he tells us more and more, that it's not. So we don't even really know who's calling the plays. So, I mean, I imagine that's probably confusing for Jalen Hurts too. And, it may be some of the reasons for the struggles. Not saying that Jalen doesn't have his own flaws and own things to worry about. But I think in my opinion, I would probably say that Nick is the reason why Jalen holds the ball too long, maybe misses guys, maybe isn't reading the field right. Because I don't think he's comfortable with what Nick does. I mean, we've already heard the rumors during the summer about it. So what has really changed? That's why I think this bye week, coming out of this bye week, will tell us everything we need to know. Like, I don't need week 5. I mean, I don't need like week 8, 9. Like, if this team does not come out and want to kill Cleveland and not ready to play, then I don't think that this coach can ever get them ready to play.
I think I think if you lose, I think the cherry on top would be this. You lose against Cleveland, and I think you lose against the Giants. I think losing that Giants game will be the cherry on top with everything. So
Diddy Dingle, my dingling. Pause, no Diddy.
Who are these?
Thank you for super chat. Goes, Joey, do you remember me? We met at the Diddy party.
No,
he doesn't remember you. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm not even saying I'm not even saying fire Nick. I'm not even ready to do that yet. I'm just saying take him out of any control within the offense, and let's see what happens. Just say no when Kellen Moore installs the offensive game plan, you are not having a say in it. When the plays are being called in or whatever, you are not going to override and stepping in. You are not taking any of the play calls. Let's see how that goes. But I really want to see. I want to see what he does after the bye week. I want to see how this team responds because I'm really curious, Joey. I really am.
The players might try to respond, but they only have so much control. Like AJ Brown's coming. I mean, I understand you're getting guys back. I mean, I think there's culture damage right now. I think what Slade did after going on Micah Parsons' podcast 24 hours later and doing that whole segment on Chauncey and kind of laughing at the situation. Like, this is a captain. This is what you do to prepare yourself. I mean, this is what you do after a football game 24 hours later. When the guy loses a game, he's got to defend himself and put, like you said, put his accolades up online. And then when he does well, he throws the team under the bus. I think that's horrible. I think that's and then he starts blocking people online. I mean, I don't get where we are with the culture, because especially defensively, they looked like they had no intensity, they had no aggression, they had no sense of urgency, they didn't look like they were alive. So that that game at the Superdome to that Tampa game was just where did that go? It totally, they ran on empty, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And MJ Lips says, what about the quarterback coach? He should be helping Hurts. We've heard very little from the quarterback coach. I don't even know what to tell you about him. Like, it's very little. Like I said, I just think that this game versus the Browns is going to show us if this team can react. Like, this team should come out and want to kill the Browns. But if they come out lackadaisical or look like they just been on a vacation, then I'm going to say that, listen, I don't think they listen to Nick. And, they can like him and say all the nice things about him in the world, but they don't respond to him. And that won't just be based on one game or two games. That'll be based on all the games from last year as well, because I think it's the same thing. Emmett Blackstock, David Super Chat goes, what did it take to give full control to Steichen? So the Nick's first year, if you remember, he struggled calling the offense. It looked a lot like it does at times now. Steichen took over. They really became a ball control type offense. Then going into the following year, Steichen kept control of the offense. And then after he left, Nick went back to doing what he did his rookie year as a head coach. But this time, he was unwilling to give it up.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were the number one rushing. I think they were the number one rushing offense. I think they became that. They started running the football tremendously in 21. But I don't know why, if you're bad at something, you keep just doing the same things. And even if Steichen leaves, why hasn't he taken anything from that playbook or incorporate some of the stuff that he does? I mean, Nick came here as a head coach, as a game planner, and he didn't even last half a season. Yeah,
so. You know what it looks like to me? It doesn't look like the Eagles are incorporating things from last year and this year together and meshing it. It almost looks like Jalen has to know two different playbooks. That's what it looks like to me, because they're always in sequence with each other. Like, there's always, it looks one way, one drive, and then a whole nother drive, it looks the other way. It's not like two good plays, one bad play, a good play, bad play. It comes in bunches. It almost looks like two different playbooks. Bald Eagle David Super Chat goes, what happens first? Sirianni fired or we trade for a defensive end? I think trade for a defensive end. I don't think Nick's going to get fired. I thought so earlier. Unless this team completely tanks, I don't think he gets fired. I think they're too talented to have that happen. I really think they're going to win probably the next 4 games. And I don't think he'll get fired. But he can give up the play calling. I mean, how he could call down there and say, listen, enough is enough, That's what I'm hoping. Diddy said, and David Superchat goes, yo, Joey, the party has been moved. Check Jay-Z's text.
No,
Joey knows big people, man. Mad Tight David Super Chat. He goes, nothing's going to change until Sirianni's fired and Jeffrey Lewis stops meddling. Hurts should be on the hot seat. His play is unacceptable. It to me, until and I don't disagree. I think until we get Nick out of the way, it's so hard to judge Jalen. That's really how I feel.
Yeah, I think.
Does bad?
Yeah, I think the one thing. I agree. I feel like. No, I get attacking Jalen before the coaching staff, I think, is a bunch of BS. And I'm not even impressed at all with Jalen's play, but you're not getting this guy into a rhythm at all. I mean, if you think he's going to gunsling it nonstop, especially last game, that's just a perfect example. When you don't have two of your best receivers, your right tackle, it's still, you're not running the football enough, and you're still passing over 30 times. But I honestly don't know if this is going to change. I want to be positive, but I'm going to be realistic. I don't think he's leaving the play calling to Kellen. I feel like he's just so into himself doing this, and he just feels like he could still get this team right. I don't know how he's allowed to do this every single week. This is continuance from last year, and it's going to be sink or swim. It's all going to be on Nick. So if Nick wants to keep taking over after this bye week, then it's all going to be on him for himself to drown. So that's it.
Yeah. King Eagle says the best thing to do is let Nick meddle so he can get fired.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I guess so. I think this team is talented enough to win in spite of him. I really do. Now, it's like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what changes. What do you think needs to change coming out of the bye week? Besides the Nick stuff, we've beaten the Nick Sirianni stuff to death. But just in terms of what they have to do on the field and stuff, what do you want to see coming out of this bye week that, may give us a boost, may feel different, may get us going? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, they have to use middle of the field more. They have to run the ball more. They should be incorporating their wide receiver threes because, I mean, all your wide receivers combined for 30-something yards last time. It seems like they don't know how to draw anything else up besides when it's to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, or all the tight ends combined. You're missing 5 players from this defense. Just imagine you're missing 5 players from this defense right now. Jalen Hunt came in for a few plays and he was pretty explosive. Why isn't he in the rotation? Cooper DeJean should be playing in the inside corner spot. So I swear to God, if Maddox is starting that inside corner spot coming off this bye week, I'm going to be throwing hands. Okay, it's not going to be a joke. I mean, Sidney Brown's coming back. He probably won't play for another couple weeks. Let's see what they do with him. You're going to get Bradbury a few weeks back. I think, I've been talking about the trade deadline. I've been talking about, will the Eagles be sellers? You still have Isaiah Rodgers sitting on the bench. I don't know what they should do. I mean, I'm not really sure, to be honest, because I don't want to piss people off, but I feel like it's time for more of a youth movement to come in here and play guys that have a chip on their shoulder and will bring more intensity and just be more competitive for this defense. The adjustments have just got to be faster. They have to be a lot better. And, I saw a video on Bryce Huff. It was like Brian Baldy went over a video. I don't know if you've seen it, but they showed video from when he was with the Jets to when he's with the Eagles. Yeah, the 2-point stance, 4-point stance stuff, and maybe he's not getting enough get off. Like you get this player, you pay him money, and yet like technique wise, you're not even using him properly. Like that's what I don't really get with that whole situation. Because look at it, like. You use the 5-man fronts, right? As much as they didn't do it in the Tampa Bay game, you can't really do it all the time because you leave Nakobe Dean back there by himself. And then you have Zach Ball on the edge. And Nakobe Dean, we know, like, when it comes to his coverage, it's really bad. And obviously his tackling seems to be worse since he's missed, 6-7 tackles in the game. So, I feel like, they have to acquire an edge guy. Like, if you do a 4-man front, all Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter can get doubled. Your one-on-ones on the edge can't beat anybody. And when you have more weapons on an offense we're facing, the 5-man fronts are hard to do because, Nakobe Dean is the only linebacker back there. So that it's I think multiple things have to happen. I don't think everything's going to happen this week, but it's got to look better.
Right. Yeah. The first thing I want to see is I want to see them ready to play. Like I want to see them actually take the field and be ready, and then and I'll talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball. Like I think you need to get I think this idea that you're going to keep making Devin White inactive is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you got to get him on the field. You got to let him dress at least. I mean, here's a guy that was in the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. You need some of that out there on the field. Then you need, you got to do something with your edge. I think Jalen Hunt needs snaps. I think Cooper DeJean needs to take over for Avonte Maddox. I'm done with Avonte Maddox, man. Avonte Maddox is about to incur my Nate Gary wrath, dude, because he really rubs me the wrong way. And I think we got to figure a way to get Carter and Davis to be consistent. I thought Davis was horrible versus Tampa.
Yeah,
he's getting blocked 1-on-1 now. So something's got to change with that. And I mean, I do expect them to go out and make a trade because that's what Howie usually does. I would expect a pass rusher. I just don't think we know what teams are buyers and sellers yet. We're still about a couple weeks away from that, But I mean, maybe like if Bengals keep losing, Hendrickson would be coming off. And I don't know if the Chargers keep losing, maybe Khalil Mack would. But we got to find out. But they desperately need a pass rusher.
They desperately defensively, especially we know what they have to do offensively. We already know, like when the weapons come back, like we know we have everything we need offensively. It's down to the coaching staff, but defensively, like I said, 5 to 6 players are out of this defense right now that could do a lot more. Like the Devin White behavior is another thing that's just really just weird to me. I mean, he posted. We already know this. He posted on Sunday's game. He posted against Tampa during the game because he wasn't at the game, like Levante David, his former teammate, strip stacking Jalen Hurts. He posted online in a congratulating type fashion, deletes it. Like, is he trying to get is he trying to get cut? Is he trying to get traded? What's going on behind the scenes with Devin White? Because I really can't believe that he just didn't beat Dean in training camp. I just don't believe it. Like, what is the whole issue with him?
I don't either. I don't believe it either because he literally. I was live every practice, and every practice he was with the ones. Every practice. And then all of a sudden, he didn't beat Dean out. You would have seen a switch in practice where Dean was starting to get more reps like it happened for everybody else. I don't know what happened, but something happened. Daniel says, I reiterate stubbornness. Yeah? Or maybe sent to sabotage our team. Where is Nick Sirianni from anyways? New York? I don't know where he's from. I don't know. I honestly don't know where he's from. But, yeah, it's crazy. Chris B. Davis Super Chat goes, haven't won by 14 since the NFC Championship game. That's wild. Wow, that is wild. I think we're at like 25. I don't know what it is, like 25 games or something like that, where we haven't won like above, like, I don't know what it was, like 10 points or something. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
bro, nuts. Can you do a flip? In my youth. In my youth. Door Gunner David Super Chat goes, Howie is the problem. Only hires yes men coaches and go after the faces and not fit. Defensive draft picks stink. Howie is a CPA, not talent evaluation. Yeah, well, I agree. Like, I'm not calling the fire Howie. I don't want to do that.
No.
But I really think he needs to get somebody in here that will be in charge of evaluation. Like, get somebody who evaluates the talent, draws up the draft board that you have. And then if Howie wants to manipulate the draft and draft according to the draft board that somebody else evaluated, I'm okay with that. But, he's got to be better at drafting. Lucius the Show says, here is the fix for to the D-line. Wide 9. Huff and Sweat are made for it. Bond and Dean are fine run defenders, so it won't hurt. I wouldn't mind at this point. I would not mind using the wide 9. Whatever it takes to get this team pressure, especially from the edge rushers, I'm willing to try at this point, But they've got to do something.
Yeah.
Debbie says defense wins games. It does a lot of times. And that goes back to like what we were saying, like, this defense is built and predicated on the fact that you're going to get a pass rush with your front and that you're going to get to the quarterback. And if you don't do that, you're done. And I mean, listen, we could talk about the secondary, and yeah, they played a lot of space and way back, but sometimes it's not them. Sometimes the coverage is actually good, but the quarterback has all day. Now in the Tampa game, he was throwing the ball like 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds.
2.2.
Because there was all this space, and that's the coach. I mean, I blame the coach for that.
Yeah, it's hand in hand. Your pass, your pass coverage is hand in hand with your pass rush. And if it doesn't work, like, they played heavy zone, like in the second half, like heavy zone where they're letting receivers, tight ends off the line, passing by the corner, passing by a linebacker, find that wide open space and catching for big chunks of yards. I mean, it's just back to square one all over again. So they got to find out a way to get, I don't know. They got to do something here because it's not working.
No.
It's not.
Housecat says at the time it was smart to move from Reddick. Not on this. I mean, no. I don't think we did not like that trade from the get-go. We scratched our head. We were told we keep complaining about. I was told I keep stop bitching about that trade. But I never understood it. I didn't like it, and I still don't like the way it turned out. I mean, all that money you gave Huff, couldn't you have given that to Reddick for a year? Like, even if it was just 1 year to make him happy and play out his contract. I don't know.
Still missing games already. Still not.
And he's still got the same amount of sacks as Huff.
Sad.
He still has the same amount of sacks as Huff. Rock'em Ray says, take Slay, Maddox, and Dean out. Put in White, Rogers, and Mitchell. Need Huff and a 4-point stance at the edge. Yeah, listen. I'm getting to the point with Slay where it's like, all right, look, I respect your career. I expect what you did. All that. But man, maybe we should just go with the younger guys that are hungry.
That's so I've
You
been,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should. I mean, honestly, dude, like, why wait? Why at this point, like, if you lose the next game or two, like, why wait on Slay? Why wait on Slay? Why keep him here for the rest of the year where you're just going to throw Ringo in there anyway? I mean, why not just throw somebody in that spot, give him a head start for, instead of waiting until training camp next season? I don't think it's the worst idea, know?
I will say this, though. The Browns are the perfect team, I think, with Watson and the way he's played. I think they're the perfect team to come out and get your defense right on. So the Eagles have a great opportunity. I mean, the Eagles could literally, it would not surprise me if they go 4-0 or 3-1 in the next 4 games. It would not surprise me at all. And then we'll be talking about how great everything's going. But, the question is will the problems still be there? And will we just not be thinking about it? Because I feel like when we went 10-1 last year, we ignored a lot of the things that are now rearing their ugly head. Battle mode, Bainbridge says, Slay softer than Marshmallow. Yes, I agree. Fabio says, where is Slay that got DK Metcalf face? Yeah, I mean, dude, he sounds like he's content with his career. He's happy with what he did. He's going to get paid. He's going on, he's going through the motions, dude. What did Seth Joyner say? He's like, he's the twilight of his career now. Something to that effect.
He's treating it like some ceremonial thing where he could just do whatever he wants, doesn't care where the team goes. And I don't know, dude. I don't like it. No fans like him anymore. I don't think anybody likes him anymore, to be honest, after what he pulled again. And this is what you expect from him. So like if Slay knows he's going to get a lot of shit in a game, but he knows that everybody's going to get a lot of shit. That whole defense is going to get shit for that game. We know the corners played bad. We know the defensive line couldn't get pressure. The defensive line doesn't get pressure. Your secondary's cooked. It doesn't matter. Can't get pressure. That's it. Baker Mayfield has all day to throw. But mentality-wise, to get to the next game or going to the bye week, I mean, not even 24 hours later, it's like it just was a bad look. It was a really, really bad look what he did.
It was. Housecat says, I'm not sure if we talked about it yet, but what the F does Howie and Lori talk about with Nick? Is it just Nick yapping with excuses? Like, for real? How long is that acceptable? What do you talk about? I don't know what they talk about. Like, it's because if you go back to when they talked and used to meet with Doug Peterson, you remember there were times where they said, there were at least reports, and we don't know for sure. These are the reports that were out, that they were upset with Doug, even though if we won a game, if he ran the ball too much, if he didn't call certain plays. So I don't know if that stuff is going on or not. I really think coming out of this bye is going to tell us for once and for all we need to know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. King Eagles, I just remember he was here. Who's that? 500. The way we treated the offseason is clear. We wanted to shift to an offensive team, but then why the hell would we let Nick meddle like a damn? I don't think Nick was supposed to meddle. I think he backdoored it, man. I do. I don't think that was the plan. I think he backdoored it, and no. I think it's going to be interesting to see if the front office goes to him and says you got to stop.
Yeah, it's like I think like it was Devontae Smith, the celebrity softball game, and like Devontae Smith said, "Oh, it's sometimes guys, sometimes I don't know if he said Nick or kind of needs to take a step back, And I felt like okay, this is going in the right direction, but I think it's been like I agree. I think with you, I think it's been like up and down. I think like Nick has been like trying to figure out whether he's going to be involved or not involved, and maybe he just can't help himself. I don't know, but I think it's been an up and down decision all off season. And finally, he got involved.
I think a lot of it plays into the fact that he's probably there in the installation of the game plan. from week to week. What can you get in there? It seems like every week Nick admits to more and more control. So I don't know where it's going to go. DeJuan Jones says, like I said, coaching matters. Sam Darnold. What the hell, man?
It's the perfect example. It's literally the perfect example with good coaching behind a quarterback. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people could shit on Hurts all they want, but let me tell you, man, like, look at that situation.
Right,
Crazy.
exactly. Sam Darnold looked like Montana. That's all creative coaching. Nick sucks. I agree. I mean, how can you not agree with that? Even Kirk Cousins. I mean, Kirk Cousins threw for over 500 yards on Thursday night. He looked amazing, and I don't even remember Kirk Cousins ever playing good in prime time like that, man. It's crazy. Big D says the front office is the primary problem. Yeah, I think they're a big part of it. I think there's a lot more meddling that goes on. Dave says in the last 11 games, we are 3-8, 9 interceptions, 8 fumbles. I know. Wow. The question I will ask is this, and this is what I asked about Hurts. Why is Hurts fumbling? Why is Hurts throwing interceptions? Is it Hurts, or is it that he doesn't like what they're doing or trust what they're doing, and then he feels like he has to hold on to the ball too long because he doesn't trust what he sees, because he doesn't trust what they're doing? So to me, in order to know if it's Hurts, we've got to take the coach out of the equation. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and I think even from the last post-game press conference where he was like, about the identity and, it Hurts and Nick having a difference on the situation. He says, here and there, so I feel like there is still, like the rumors we heard last year where there was a big disconnect, someone close to the situation, wherever. And, Jalen tried to change the offense last year. And, Nick swept it under the rug. So I feel as if almost the same thing is happening, but Kellen Moore is the next Brian Johnson, and it's the same situation now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. Like I said, we're going to find out. There's no reason to panic. Let me say that. We don't have to panic. It is only week 4, but we need to realize that whatever happens, if this keeps up, this is more than just this year. This is also going back to last year. So the problems look the same. That's the problem. Batman, David Super Chat. Is it a bad mindset to have I'm expecting us to get blown out every week since we're not getting rid of Nick, even though we should? No, I mean, I don't think you have to worry about that. I think this team's talented enough where that's not going to happen. And they didn't have anybody when they played. I mean, they had a lot of guys out versus Tampa.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just got to wait and see. But I do think coming out of this bye week is a great test to see if they made any adjustments, if they're going to try to change some things and fix some things, or are they going to just keep doing what they've been doing? We're going to know. We are going to know for once and for all, in my opinion, about what this coach is coming out of this bye week. So I'm gonna wait. I'm going to see what he does, and it should be interesting,
Yeah.
Nick is the one constant. Things went south. I think it's time for some. No, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Hey, 500. I was talking about why is Bradbury still here? Yeah, I forgot he was here too. You just reminded me.
He'll be back soon. He'll be back in a few weeks.
Yeah, Bradbury's back. You're also getting what's his face is coming back too.
Sidney
Brown. So what are we going to do with does Sidney Brown come back and Avonte Maddox get cut? I really want to see Cooper DeJean take over that starting role in the slot, though. We got to get away from Maddox, dude. Now listen, tomorrow you got Washington playing Cleveland, and then you have Dallas playing Pittsburgh. What do you think about like this division right now, man? Like what do you see it as a whole, kind of the state of the NFC East?
I think Washington's catching their stride. Their coaching has been really good behind what they're doing, and that's that. Jaden Daniels been looking pretty damn good with the weapons that's in front of him right now. And I think that they could primarily if the Eagles just don't get their shit together, they could probably win the division this year. I could probably believe that. The Cowboys have a pretty crazy stretch. I mean, they still got to play Detroit, San Fran, Atlanta, us, Houston. I mean, they have a pretty tough schedule going forward. No Micah Parsons the next couple weeks. DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
They haven't looked especially great either.
No.
So
They
this
look
this
slow.
division, so this division is really not. The Giants are, that they got no
They stink.
neighbors for Sunday. They're not going to do much. So,
Who the Giants play? Seattle.
I
think they're playing Seattle. They're done. They're going to lose that game.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about is the Eagles. Like, what do you take from it? Like, so they beat Cleveland, right? Like, it's probably one of the worst offenses of the league. You play the New York Giants. Like, do you think they'll play down to the competition? If they play down to the competition, like, are you still going to take a win in factor? Like, if they win against Cleveland, the Giants, do you feel still good? Like, even if they don't win, they don't score by a lot, and it's some ugly heart attack wins that the Eagles do get the next couple of weeks. What do you take?
It depends. To me, it depends how they show up and how they look and how they play. Let's say they lost to Cleveland, and for whatever reason, Cleveland played really good and they lose 34-31, but the Eagles came out and they played harder and they looked a lot better. I can live with that kind of loss. But if they go out and they win and they win 27-24, but they look like they're half-assing it half the game, like they've looked a lot of weeks with Nick, I'm going to be upset. So really, to me, it depends what they look like,
Mm-hmm.
I think this division's there. I like Jaden Daniels a lot, dude. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I think Washington's legit. I think they're going to legit compete for the division. I think it's going to be between them and the Eagles. I think Dallas is fundamentally flawed. I think Dallas has no run game and they can't stop the run. And you're not going to win a lot of games like that. You're just not. So I really think it's going to be I still think the Eagles win the division at the end because I think they're talented. So I think it's going to be, I think Washington is actually the tougher team than the Dallas Cowboys. But all three of those teams technically are involved or in on this division. But I mean, we'll see how it plays out. Dallas has they have a tough stretch coming. I think Washington beats Cleveland tomorrow. I'm betting that game. Shout out BetUS. You guys could go there. You just use the promo code YouTube150, and you guys will be good to go. 150% sign up bonus. But I'm taking Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I think they win. I think Dallas loses tomorrow night. Right. And then we'll go from there. So, but I think Washington's the real deal, man. I think they got.
Oh yeah.
If they go out and get like Devontae Adams or something, they're going to be scary. I think that kid's going to be good. Random fandom content. Thank you so much, man, for the generous super chat, man. We really appreciate it. He says, let's be real. We miss Shane. The attention to detail, the way he had the players playing. Only credit I gave Nick was coaching staff he hired once they left. He got exposed. I don't want Bill. Rather go after Ben Johnson or Bobby Slowick. Man, those are my top two choices, to be honest with you. I really like – those were my two guys I would like to get to. I don't want Bill – and I don't want, I know Gruden's name keeps coming up. I don't want a coach that was won somewhere else because the history says if you're a coach, you win a Super Bowl in one place, you don't go and win it somewhere else.
Right.
So I would rather go with a guy like Ben Johnson. But the thing is, a guy like that, are they going to be the yes men Howie Roseman will want? Because the Eagles always want guys who are going to be yes men. They just Howie is not going to put himself in a position to have what happened with Chip Kelly happen again. I don't believe it.
It's totally scarred him, no doubt. I mean, he's no doubt.
Yeah. Random fandom content, man. Thank you again for that.
Thanks, man.
For that super chat, man. We appreciate it. Ezekiel Xavier says, free Devin White. Yeah, I mean, I think he should be playing. No. Mike Vrabel, yeah, that's a good name. I like Mike Vrabel. I would be okay with that. He hasn't won somewhere else, but if you could get a really good offensive coordinator to go with Vrabel, I think that would be Vrabel wouldn't run this crappy defense, dude. We wouldn't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, no, that's another issue too. They don't hire defensive head coaches. That's a whole nother problem that they don't do at all.
Yeah. Wayne says we better beat the Browns and Giants. Yes, we do. Khalil says we suck again. Big D says, and that's why we remain a loser franchise. Yes. Love it. Which, yeah. Gruden will bring drama. I don't want Gruden. Free Cooper DeJean agreed. Hi, guys. What are your thoughts on the rumor JH not being able to read defenses and can't go through progressions, which limits what the offensive coordinators can call? Yeah, I mean, I know everybody wants to blame Jalen Hurts. I really wonder if it's the other way, where the plays that are being called, the trust that Jalen has with the head coach specifically, is making things worse. So maybe it is at the end of the day Jalen Hurts and a lot of the problems. But to me, in order to really know it, we gotta take the head coach out of the equation to really judge him. I think it's really hard to judge him because I really think that he doesn't like or trust the plays that they run.
What is it, like 8 play callers and like eight play callers in 10 years? I mean, it's that doesn't help either. I mean,
but if there's I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying, but also if you talk about all the stuff that came out of the summer, what was it? Jalen Hurts didn't trust what Nick Sirianni was doing. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts didn't like the offense. Jalen Hurts didn't like that he didn't have control about certain things. There were a lot of things that he did not like. Now, there are things that he does that makes mistakes that are his fault. I'm not shielding the blame for him. What I'm saying is before we can ultimately say, okay, it's time to move on, or we're going to need a quarterback, let's take the coach out of the equation and see if we can't get him right. And if we can't, then we know. But if you get rid of him before the coach, I don't think it's really going to help you in the long run.
No.
That's my point, Mr. Wink, David Super Chat goes, I hate to say this, but this may be the year in which we have to endure until Sirianni's fired. Howie needs to hire a real coach. Until he does that, this team's falling apart is on him at this point. Yeah, I agree. But we're going to find out after this bye week. Like, I feel like we're going to know after this bye week. I really do. Because just by the way they come out and play, I feel like we're going to know. You have a chance to go back and review the first 4 games, see everything that you guys messed up on, fix it, make adjustments, get healthy. And if you come back and you don't fix it and it's just the same thing, then we know.
Mm-hmm.
Bald Eagle David Superchat goes, I want the coach from Baltimore. He transferred from Lamar and can bring drafted philosophy over to. Yeah, he's another guy that that people talk about because of what he did with Lamar. I mean, I'm open to it. I'm open to all of that, But I don't think we have to worry about them hiring a coach this year. I mean, it's not going to happen till the all season. So, even if they were to fire Nick, they're just going to promote Vic or Kellen as an interim head coach.
Yeah, right.
So, we gotta see. We just gotta see. Antonio Holmes, what's going on? He goes 5-0. I want a pocket passer who has little running ability so we can have a regular offense. No, I get it. I mean,
and I don't even think Jalen Hurts' running ability is even that impressive this year. Like, I don't know why he looks. I don't know what's going on with him and like the way he moves. Does he have a past injury, or he's not running as fast? You look at even at 22 till now, and it's like it's a night and day difference. Just is he just being more careful, cautious? I mean, the guy can't even slide with the football. Did you see him slide with the football in his hands? He like planted both feet together and just went backwards. Like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Antonio Holmes says I wanted for Brian Flores. He got screwed in my. Yeah,
He'd be
I like
great.
Brian Flores too. I mean, there's definitely guys to get. The question when it comes to coaching, and we're jumping ahead. I mean, we're jumping
Yeah.
ahead, but the questions with coaching is going to be how much control will Howie want to give up? Will the Eagles go for another first time coach who never had a chance, that wasn't even on anybody's radar? I mean, think about it. Doug Peterson, when he was hired, nobody had Doug as a candidate. Doug was not a top candidate as a head coach, and the Eagles hired him. Then Nick Sirianni was a guy that was just having an interview. He wasn't even there either, you know. So will they go after another coach like that, a yes man, or will they really go out and say, "All right, Bill, go do your thing"?
Here's
I don't
another
know.
here's another thing that everybody forgets about that Super Bowl, though. Everyone forgets that after 16, the Eagles were supposed to fire Frank Reich. Like, they were going to fire him
Mm-hmm.
after that year, and Doug went to the front office and literally just told them not to give it another year. Like, I don't know, man. The front office is weird to me. Like, they make some, we don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, but obviously they're letting things play out. And if they're letting Nick still do this, that means that they're okay with doing this, that they're agreeing with something that is still affecting this team. And it makes you wonder, like, why Brian Dable didn't come here, why certain coaches wouldn't come here. Remember, like, the Eagles would call and they didn't even answer it. It makes
Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
wonder, why some of these certain head coaches, they know these certain coaches that are trying to get head coaching jobs, they know what they're getting into when it comes with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's why they're not coming here. So they get a coach that you'd never heard of, that was a part of Frank Reich and that Colts offense, but didn't necessarily, like we said earlier, didn't call the plays, maybe game planned a little bit, but Frank Reich was the play caller in Indianapolis. So it's just really weird, man. It's really weird. And
Chip Kelly really scarred them, man. He really scarred the Eagles. Dewan says, Brian Flores commands the room, top 5 defensive mind, top 5 in Minnesota. Now only Belichick coach from his tree that works to. Yeah, listen, I like it, man. I would be totally open to that. But the one thing with Flores is he is not a yes man. He will stick up and stay what he thinks, do what he thinks is right. Would the Eagles want that kind of personality there? That would be the question. So I mean, we'll see. We kind of got to see what happens after the bye week. It's going to be interesting. I'm ready to get this whole bye week over, though, man. I don't like not having football, especially off of the loss you had, Tampa, where you have to like sit on it for like 2 weeks. I hate that, man. I just want to
yeah.
I want to get this. I can't wait to get tomorrow on with these games and then start focusing against Cleveland.
True.
Easy as his name says, on a positive note, we are in a 21-21 situation. If Nick wants to keep his job, he will F off free Kellen Moore. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's on the hot seat.
They're gonna learn. They're gonna learn the fucking hard way again. For another year if this keeps going the way it does.
McNabb got his hell beat out of him every week, and it took its toll on him. He was physically tough, but not exactly mentally. I think one of the problems with McNabb, in my opinion, well, one, they never, if they would have given McNabb the talent that they gave Jalen Hurts, you might have won a Super Bowl. Number two, I think McNabb was very into like getting bulked up and getting bigger every year, and he became slower. And I thought that took really an element of his game out. Not that he wanted to be a run first guy; he really wasn't that. But he had the ability to run, and I thought he got too big, to be honest with you. Radiation Bots, David Super Che goes, I don't believe Jalen is elite, but we can win big with him. Nick is the sum of his coordinators. The whole team regressed under his coach. Yeah, they don't listen. Listen, I don't think Jalen Hurts is Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or any of those guys. But I think if you put a good team around him, I think if you put talent around him, I believe he can win too. I mean, you can't convince me otherwise. The guy came one drive from winning a Super Bowl. I believe he can win too. But I think that there's something with this coach. There's a disconnect. I feel like there's maybe two, like Ron Jaworski said a year ago or so, there was too many voices in his head. I think Jalen Hurts, I think a lot of the mistakes come because I believe Jalen Hurts is trying to make something out of nothing. I think he doesn't throw to players and stuff. I don't think he trusts what he sees because I don't think he trusts what they're doing. I don't think he trusts the coach. And until that's out of the way, I feel like I can't fully write Jalen Hurts off. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Only time will tell. I think the number one thing that has to change for anything scheme-wise is attitude. Yeah, I agree. And everyone has to come out there and want it because I haven't seen guys do that yet consistently. They did it in the New Orleans game, man. They came out and they were hungry. And it was great. But it seemed like that Tampa game, they were like, all right, we got to just get through the next 60 minutes and we got a week off. Didn't it seem like they were thinking about their bye week? I mean, Avante Max talking about gaming, Slay talking about his years in football. Like they were checked out. They were checked out.
It's horrible.
Yeah, Paul, I hope you're doing well too. Somebody keeps texting me, man. Why I keep getting all these texts? It's just crazy. I gotta silence this. But yeah, it's crazy. Eagles, what's up? 500. We need to get Jalen Hunt in the field. Yeah, we were saying that earlier. Let him play if he's ready. Would start him, and if not, he's at least we could see what he could do and he can learn. Exactly. Yeah. Rod Rogue says, "Hey, I got it. Fire Nick, then hire new coach Rex Ryan. Then keep Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator. Hire Mike Vrabel for defensive coordinator, and get John Gruden." Yeah, that would never happen. That would never happen.
No, too much.
Yeah, that's way too much. Yeah, that wouldn't happen at all. Let's see here. What is Mahomes without Andy Reid? Has Mahomes proven that he can win without Reid? Y'all hear some? No, I don't think. Listen, I think it's the opposite. I don't think Andy Reid could win without Mahomes. I'm sorry, because he has proven that he can't win without Mahomes. He's literally proven it, you know. Big Lee says the Eagles got to Super Bowl in 22 running the same defense and offense as 2024. That's true. They did. Well, offense, not the same. This is clearly the front office trying to be smarter than everybody. Yeah, I agree. The difference in 22 with the defense was that they got pressure. What did they have? 70 sacks? They got pressure and they could get to the quarterback. I think in this system, when you can't get pressure with that front, and it doesn't have to necessarily be sacks all the time, but when you can't get pressure,
you're cooked.
You're cooked, and you're done. And I do think the offense changed when Steichen left. I think it went back to more of what it looked like the first 6-7 games when Nick first got here. You know, and that was struggled, and we struggled. Jalen Hurts, Dusty says, not a franchise quarterback. Just realize that you will be better off if Jalen doesn't have a Pro Bowl around him. He's not that good. I don't know. I saw this guy almost win a Super Bowl, man.
Here's another thing, dude. Like, you're locking up players. You're locking up both your receivers to big contracts, and you want to solidify. Like, how is this play calling not solidified when you're locking up these players? When you start locking up this many players for the future, man, like, you're competing right now. Like, you're competing. And how do they let this thing? How are they letting the play calling be so just non-existent to what they used to do and be more successful? I mean, that's the issue of having you lock up all these players. You're just having a wasted year. You're putting money down the drain just by not using to your full advantage what you can possibly do with this offensive roster. And that's what really upsets me. AJ Brown, he's been posting a lot of stuff online that, he's like, it's my turn. He posts like Christian Bale looking at his Batman, outfit, like, it was cool. Like, so I feel bad for the players, a lot of the players, because they're going to give it their all. But is this coaching staff going to do right by these guys? Like, who knows as of right now if these players are not some of these players haven't given up on this head coach already because they don't want to say anything because they don't want the media to flood this whole season and kind of be like the front of the news the rest of the year. So because it's all talk, no show behind it.
Yeah, and that's why I can't wait to see what they look like coming in that Browns game, because when you get Devontae Smith back, you get Lane Johnson back, you get AJ Brown back, you're going to, even if you're making the same mistakes, they're talented enough to win. They could win the next 4 games easily, be 6-2. But I really want to see how they respond. I want to see how they respond to this coach. If you look at the end of last year, I mean, when we were playing teams like the Giants and losing, and we were playing Arizona and losing, it was like you kind of knew they were going to lose before the game started. You had a feeling that they just weren't going to show up, and they didn't. And they didn't listen to the coach. They can say all the nice things they want about him, but they didn't react to him. So I think that's my number one thing coming out of the bye week. Let's see how they react to him. Let's see how they react. Are they ready? Are they upset about what happened in Tampa? Have they been chomping at the bit to be back on the field? Are they going to go out and blow out a Browns team that I think is not that good? I mean, we're going to find out. I think this proves a lot, I don't think we need to panic. I don't think we need to just throw everything away. But I do think this is a good test for us. I do.
Click on go back.
What's up?
To digitals, because I know.
Oh yeah. I meant to read it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Yo, so it looks like I'm about to hit a Category 3 hurricane. Oh boy. This upcoming week, fantastic. Well, man, you be safe out there, man. You be careful and be safe.
Me and him texted the other day. He already got hit already. He got hit by the last one, and I don't know. Apparently, a little bit of flooding. But I hope you're all right, bro.
It's crazy. That whole area is crazy, man. Everybody's in our prayers. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I won't give up on Hurts. They need to give him a good offensive coordinator and keep him. I don't know any other quarterback learning new offense almost every year. Am I wrong? No, I mean he does have a lot of new coordinators and stuff like that. He does. I really think that it's more the coach. I really think the coach is a big factor in this whole thing. I think he's like, look, Brian Johnson got fired. He got to blame. Now, we're doing a lot of the same things we did last year. At some point, it's the head coach. I want to see the coach taken out of the equation. And when I mean that, just taken out of the ability to call plays, to install plays, to have a say in what they do offensively. And then I want to see what happens with Moore and Jalen over the course of the year. If nothing changes, if Jalen still does the same things, I'll say, look, it's time to go out and prepare for another quarterback in a few years. But until I see that, I really think this head coach is the problem. Steve-O says Hurts is an easy fix. You can't tell me Sam Darnold can go somewhere with good coaching and the right coaching and look great, and Jalen Hurts can't. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We.
Go ahead. You're good.
No, Joe Sanders says we need better play calling. We do. Absolutely. Steve-O says Sirianni's problem. That's what I think, too. Donnie says, I saw Nick Sirianni amusement park selling cotton candy. Roll Philly Dog says Hurts had 10 offensive coordinators in 8 years. And the only time he had won 2 years in a row, MVP candidate Dylan Holmes in the Super Bowl. It's true. A lot of coordinators. But the question is how much I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Steichen has been the best coordinator he's had And since he's
was.
been gone, yeah, that's just
But Steichen wasn't afraid to run the ball if he
no.
needed to run the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, like Sean's going to say 30 attempts with both starting wide receivers out, and your starting running back gets 10 carries. That's Hurts' fault. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. You're not putting Hurts in a position to succeed. So what's he going to do? He's going to hold on to the ball more. He's going to try to make something out of nothing. And then it looks like, oh, look, he's a turnover machine stuff. This is not anything. If you take last year and you take what we've seen this year, they've been doing this to this guy that long. And I blame the head coach for it. I do.
Then Hurts is just going to get fed up with it, which I think he's already fed up with it. And I think there's just going to be there's still a disconnect between this quarterback and this head coach. It's going to get ugly, like behind the scenes. We're not going to know anything, but it's going to get ugly. And I mean, I already see it, dude. Like when Hurts goes to the sideline, like, and even if he's next to Sirianni, like he doesn't even make eye contact with him, like ever. Yeah. There's definitely something going on. There's definitely something up.
Oh yeah,
not good.
Oh yeah, there's definitely. But at this, the good thing is it's week 4, week 5 tomorrow. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna go into a bye week. We're gonna play, I think, 4 games that are all very winnable, and we'll see if this team can't get it going, can't fix it. And if they not, I think where the blame should go, in my opinion. So. I mean, we'll see. We'll see for sure. No doubt. What are your plans? You got any plans for tomorrow during the game?
Yeah, I'm going to stream the Washington game tomorrow because I want to look at them a little bit more closely. And, maybe, and then that's probably going to be it for the day for me. I got some stuff to do later in the afternoon. I'll watch the Dallas game tomorrow night. So,
yeah, I'm most likely going to be streaming the Washington game and then streaming the Dallas game. So, you guys want to come hang out, we will be doing that. I'll have my Mark Holmes meltdown cam because I think Dallas is going to have a problem tomorrow versus Pittsburgh. I do. Washington, I think they're good. I think that kid's good, man. And definitely pray for Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, all that whole area, man. Definitely.
Crazy.
Phil, you, Mark? Yeah, I'm friends with Mark. Yeah, why? Players know Nick. I'm curious, James, the question. Players know Nick's a cupcake. He's not elite. He's not creative. Facts for verticals, Nick. It's true. It's true. I feel like Nick is in control of the defense, too. Notice Vic Fangio blitz in preseason a lot, but not anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows who's running anything is a problem. You know what I mean?
How does Fangio like go from that Saints game to like this game of doing absolutely no adjustments? Like I don't like the mentality. Like what are you doing all week to get these guys prepared? Like why do they look I mean, that was a horrible run game by Vic. That was horrible. Yeah. The way he ran that defense last week. Horrible.
Easy says the meltdown cam and the hope the Sixers can do something. The only things keeping me from running. Don't run into incoming traffic, please. Please. Clark, David Super Chat goes, Phillies lost because Sirianni was there. I thought that too. I said, why can't they always score 1 run? Because Nick Sirianni's there. He must be running the offense. Is he telling the guys how to swing the bats today or what? Big E says Dallas has the worst ground game. They do. That's why I think they're fundamentally flawed. They can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. And I think that they're going to have a problem. That's why I think Washington is the biggest threat to us for the division. I think Washington's the team we got to worry about, So it is what it is. Sirianni sell all the Philly sports, yeah. We're going to find out, man. We're going to find out all we need to know come next week versus the Browns. I'll know how this team comes out. I'll know for sure if it can be fixed or not. We'll know. I feel like that. I really do. So we'll see. But is there anything else, man, before we go get out of here?
No, I think that's it. I mean, we just gotta, we'll go through tomorrow. We'll see what everything looks like, and Eagles will get a little bit of help maybe, and then You know, we go through the week and see what the Eagles do and see who comes back, see who's going to start the defense throughout practice this week, and we'll see what happens, dude. Like these next 4 games, you know, because realistically, what you have the Browns, you have the Giants, you have Bengals, and you have
Washington, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Dallas after all 4 of those. I mean,
Jags.
They got the Jags. Jags are struggling. I don't even know if Doug's going to be the coach come when they play the Eagles. I mean, they're struggling. And you know what? I mean, if you look at Doug, I'm sorry, but Press Taylor as your offensive coordinator,
that's what he wanted.
You know, that's what he wanted. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
No.
So, we'll see. All right, guys. Well, we are out of here. Hey, Joey, did you hear the Joker 2 stunk?
Who?
Did you hear the reviews about Joker 2, the movie?
Oh, no. I heard it's really bad.
I heard
it's really bad. Really bad.
It stinks. It's like
That's
musical
horrible.
or something.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah, it is. King, what's going on, my man? At least we got Tulsa King, right? Tulsa King. I finally saw that episode. It was fantastic. It was a good episode.
Great episode.
And then and the Penguin's really good too so far. So that's cool. But all right, guys, we out of here. You guys have a good night.
Yes.
And see you tomorrow for some football. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over! It's over! This game is over! Cut it off! It's over!
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay! Congratulations, Green Bay!
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay! Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak! That was on you, Dak!
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott!
Trying to feed
Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! Trying to defend the CeeDee Lamb! You tried to defend the CeeDee Lamb! You got to give it to CeeDee Lamb! God! It's over! It's over, Dak! Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking